Hi everybody, welcome back to That's Football World Cup watch-alongs. It's Netherlands against Japan, and this personally is one of my favourites from the opening group stages. I really am looking forward to this. I think Japan could be the dark horse. I think they could be the team that goes the furthest out of all the Norways, Moroccos, Senegals, Austrias, and all the Colombias. I think Japan really could be that team. So very excited about watching this game. On the other hand, Netherlands have sort of come into this tournament themselves a little bit sort of, under the radar. A bit like Germany, who, fair play. I mean, I actually, let me just post this because I did say, on my threads, I said I fancy Germany to score at least 6, and a load of people said you're having a laugh, and I said, well, I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to say no. No one's laughing now. Fantastic stadia in this World Cup, and we are blessed again with another fantastic stadium. This is Dallas, and Dallas will be used for the semi-final. Look at it. It's impressive. It's indoor as well. It's an absolutely incredible stadium. And I did say that. What have I done here? Oh, that was it. Oh, no. Oh, God, no. I've done it on the wrong one. That's really annoying. Done it there. Can I delete that one? Yeah. What? There we go. Yeah, technology bridge, not great. But there we go. I got myself a little snack for this game as well. Please do share the video. Make sure you're subscribing as well. Bottom right-hand corner to this. Germany did a Brazil on them. I mean, there was just a big difference, wasn't there, in quality? And I've got to say, I will be absolutely honest, as I always am, because Mexico, Canada, and United States qualified as hosts, the North American World Cup qualifying group was weak. And that's why we've ended up with Haiti and Curacao in a World Cup. I mean, fair play. It's a great story for Curacao, who are so close to South America, it's unbelievable. They're literally off the coast of Venezuela, but they get to play in the North American qualifications. But yeah, the quality is just, they're just not good enough. And this was one of the fears of this World Cup, is that the Haitis and the Panamas and the Curaçaos and the Uzbekistans, they just won't be good enough, and it'll be a bit of a farce. And the Germany game was a bit of a farce, if we're being honest. But, that will disintegrate the longer we go into the tournament. We're just about to kick off here, just waiting on the referee, and away we go. I will give you the team news. So we've got... Sorry, I was just reading something there. One of your comments, actually. The lineups are as follows for West Ham. I was reading something about West Ham. Japan, I've got to tell you the players to watch. So, for Japan, Sano, number 24, is fucking brilliant. Plays in the Bundesliga. Absolutely brilliant midfielder. Keep an eye on him. Doan, number 10, plays for Frankfurt in the Bundesliga as well. So those two I would certainly keep an eye on. You'll know about Kubo. He's a good player. Surprised. I think he still plays for Sociedad. A very good player. But Sano, Doan, Kubo, 8, 24 and 10 for Japan. I'd keep an eye on them. Suzuki in goal. If you're Man United fans, remember we got linked to him. Watanabe, Taniguchi, Ito, Nakamura, Kamada, Sano, Doan, Kubo, Maeda, and Uedi are their team. And then, probably more familiar to you, Netherlands, Verbruggen, Dumfries, Van Heck, Van Dijk, Van der Ven, Gravenberch, De Jong, and Reinders, and Somerville, Malen, and Gakpo. I mean, it's not a bad Netherlands side. The problem with the Netherlands is always, can they turn up and... play well together. But look, I think Japan are going to be good. My snack tonight, I've got myself a little plate of chips. I've always said these Watchalongs are brilliant for brands. And it's an open goal to do food, especially in a World Cup. I'm not actually going to disclose whose fries these are because they're not paying us, so they can shove it. But I would say that they do the best fries when it comes to takeaway. And they are a well-known brand. Can you guess what they are by the chip? Very good. It's not McDonald's, no. No, they're not McDonald's, look, because they've got the potato skin on still. Oasis Times has got it. They're very good, yeah. I think their fries are incredible. Yeah, it's got a number in it. I saw Jeremy Clarkson tweeting earlier about he hopes Hawkstone Lager grows so big that they get a Formula One brand deal. God, what a save! Mallon there spun his man in the box, got the shot off, and it was a great save by Suzuki. A very good start here by the Netherlands. I mean, this could be a cracking game tonight. Look at this. He holds him off, spins him, gets the shot off. And from there, you might think he'd score, but it was a good save. This group is actually really interesting because Group F, I think this is the toughest group to call, actually, because it's got Sweden in it. It's got Tunisia in it. Netherlands and Japan. Could be a... It's the only group, I think, that's got 4 teams in it that are all quite strong. Ivory Coast, Ecuador, we are doing it at midnight, yes. And that's the Germany-Curacao group. So, look, Ecuador are meant to be very good. I'm looking forward to watching that. It was a good save, certainly. Where's me... They are they Cajun seasoned or regular? I think these were regular, actually. Very nice. They're from last night. Anyway, I hope you're all doing very well. This is actually a coffee. I had a coffee last night at about 10 o'clock, and it really helped me get through till 4. Not as late tonight. We'll be all done by 2 o'clock in the morning because it's a midnight kickoff between Ivory Coast and Ecuador. I'll go through the schedule and all that at half time. But yeah, I feel like today was the day where I was really getting into the rhythm of the World Cup. I don't know about you. I felt like today was like the novelty of it being new was over. And I was, you know, ready to go. You know, I'm getting used to the rhythm of it. That Turkey result, though, I mean, it's a shame. It was 5 o'clock in the morning, so I was never going to watch that. But bloody hell. I mean, I wasn't surprised. I actually predicted it would be a score draw. And loads of people were like, you're mad, Turkey is so good. And I was like, the amount of times Turkey have rocked up to a World Cup or a Euros as the dark horse, and they end up turning up like My Little Pony. They do it all the time. It must be so frustrating for Turkish fans because they literally do this all the time. They turn up and, well, they don't turn up. That's the problem. And look, we can't take anything away from Australia. They were, you know, fantastic. But, and I'm not taking anything away from Australia at all, actually. But what I am saying is Turkey do have good players. They just don't turn up. 02 was probably the last time they turned up. 02, see what you can do. We can do very well in 02. 2002. Where are we? Close that there. Lovely stuff. Okay. Japanese players are rapid. This is going to be a good game. And Aaron makes a good point. He says, I don't know why it was surprising. Australia are ranked higher than Turkey. I just think, well, you're right, mate. Don't fall into the trap. Everyone falls into the trap. Look at them empty seats behind the goal. The Japan coach is the most unfootballing coach in the world. Samarito, thanks for your super chat. He says, are you an alarm type of person? Well, I got into bed. I'll tell you what happened to me last night, right? I'm not even going to lie. I've never really been a big fan of basketball. But you know when the game finished at 4 o'clock last night, the Scotland game, I had Amazon Prime on, and I watched the last 7 minutes of the basketball, and I really enjoyed it. So I didn't get into bed till about, let's say, 4:30. So my plan was to get up at 11:30, but I just naturally woke up at about 10:30. So I think I have a natural alarm clock, yeah. Why do you like Japan? Because I like Japan and South Korea because they play. I don't know whether it's just drilled into them or whatever, but they both play with an intensity to move the ball, which is their strength. I mean, stereotypically, they're not necessarily as tall as like European teams, so they have a lot of smaller players, and they therefore play to their strengths, which is intensity and speed, which is a good way of watching football. So they've all. I like Japan. They play football in a good way, because football can be quite slow and boring, can't it? But as I said, they've got some good players. Kubo, Duan, Sano, Nomatoma and Endo, they didn't make it because of injury. And the Carter was a legend, you're right. Let me have a look at that. Dav, bye Dav. Fuck off. I don't know what you're talking about, but you can piss off. Welcome to everyone on TikTok. Thanks for the new follows. You're very welcome. Very welcome. I'm very welcome. I'm very good. Thank you. My first watch along of the day. We had Kev and Beth doing the Germany game, which wasn't a bad game to do, was it? 8 goals. I think Endo has retired from international football, Irfan, yeah. So we've had 10 minutes here. Best chance was for the Netherlands. A good turn by Malen. Memphis is part of the squad. He's not. I don't think he's injured. I don't think he's been picked. He's on the bench, yeah. The bench for the Netherlands: Aki, Brobby, Depay, Flecken, Gertruda, Hatto, Kluivert, Koopmeiners, Lang, Roofs, Till, Timber, Weghorst, Wiefer, Darun. Don't panic, Arsenal fans. That's not your Timber. He didn't make it, did he, because of injury? That's his brother. Bit disappointing for Timber, actually. Had a really good season with Arsenal, but missed all the big games, didn't he? Missed winning the league, missed the Champions League, and has now missed the World Cup. Japan have got loads of space out on the right-hand side. Yes, we are in Texas. This is the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. This will be used as a semi-final. I think I'm right, and there'll be somebody in the chat who knows more than me. There always is. I think I'm right in saying that the semi-finals are SoFi and Dallas, and then the final is the MetLife. Thanks for the follows, Austin and Carter and Mark on TikTok. We are doing Ivory Coast against Ecuador as well, which I think, again, will be another good game. These chips have been really good. Do I think about the Netherlands? Right, I'm done now. I don't trust the Netherlands, you know? I don't think, and I think there'll be Dutch fans who agree with me. I don't trust the Netherlands because I've seen so many tournaments over the years where the Netherlands are going to be really good, and they're not. They just don't have what it takes. Empty seats because of the prices. I don't think there are that many empty seats. That what you're seeing is a lot of blue, which is Japan. I think the attendances are actually, there's a bit of a myth going on at the moment around attendances, and actually they've been very good. Australia, Turkey last night, 52,000. Haiti, Scotland, 64,000 in Boston. Germany, Curacao, 68,000 in Houston, which is massive considering Curacao, you know, wouldn't be a huge country. Lovely play down the left-hand side by Japan. Wins a corner there. Don't know much about Maeda. Let me have a quick look. I think he plays in Celtic, doesn't he? Yeah. Yeah, plays for Celtic. Quite a few. The second night in a row we've had Celtic players playing. Oida, the striker for Japan. Let me tell you about him. Also plays for, I think he also plays for Celtic. No, Feyenoord. Sorry. Feyenoord. It's 37 goals in 37 goals in 78 games for him. Good play by Japan and good defending, and I think he's given a goal kick. Kubo is still at Real Sociedad, which is really surprising because he is a player that's been linked to a move for a very long time. Still only 25 and only just turned 25 actually. So is capable of getting a move at some point. But he's the number 8 for Japan. I mean, could be one of those players that's been scouted by a lot of people that if he has a good World Cup could be on the move. I think he's been linked to Liverpool in the past. I don't think he's ever been linked to Man United, although people have spoken about him in relation to Manchester United. But this is a tough group to get out of because Tunisia, I think people are sleeping on Tunisia. And Sweden. So it's an interesting group, this. I'm not doing Tunisia-Sweden because I think that game tonight is 3 in the morning. So I'm not doing that one. I think we've only got one more game, actually. No, obviously we're doing Ivory Coast as well. We'll talk about that at half-time. Do you miss Man United games, says Jesse? No, because I think if Man United were playing games at the moment, we'd be in trouble. We need to sign some players. Oida won Eredivisie Golden Boot this season, says Junga. There we go. Keep an eye out for him then, the striker. Number 18. Were you surprised Frimpong was completely left out of the squad, says Mango? No, I think Koeman is quite a bit like Van Gaal, isn't he? I think they do it on purpose sometimes to exert their authority. I'm glad Somerville's in the team, though, and here he is down the right-hand side. And they have got some good players. Of course, Dumfries is a Real Madrid player now. Semi-finals are in Dallas and Atalanta, not the SoFi. says Mrs. Stone. Thank you very much for that. RJ says, forgive me if you mentioned it already. What was your thoughts on the Germany game? I predicted that Germany would score 6 or more, and they did. I think it was a very comfortable game for Germany, and I think it will be the same for Ivory Coast and Ecuador as well. You'd expect all 3 of them to go through because they'll pump Curacao and have a very good goal difference with 3 points. EMB says Dallas tickets even yesterday were 1,500. I just don't get the ticket pricing. I don't get it. Somebody said that the original tickets were priced well, and basically they got acquired by touts who, you know, went with silly prices. Good play by Somerville. Headed away. Lovely ball by Doan there. Mark, after last night and earlier tonight, I think Man United should leave the Premier League midfielders like Scott and Fernandes and go and get Boadi and Enmicha. This is AMC. We have been linked to Enmicha before. Jesper says, please don't eat on air. Well, too late, mate, and I'm finished now. Forza, Ferrari, Rajasi Ham. To be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of people eating on stream, but it was either that or miss the start of the game. Also, super chat from Hamza says, why is everyone wearing pink boots? It's confusing. It must be the thing this year. Favourite World Cup tournament related song, Mark? Been listening to loads to get in the mood for it. World in Motion, New Order, Italia 90. Thank you, Ewan. Is this the same ref as the first game that sent 3 off, says Dean? I don't think he did come around again that quick. Some referees haven't refereed a game yet. Oh, hold on. Good feet, but they've cleared it away, Japan. Rest in peace, Oliver Tree. Gone too soon, says Recon Guy. Lovely message there. Mrs. Stone says Suzuki to United as a backup goalkeeper. I don't think he'd want to be a backup goalkeeper. Do you rate iShow speed, says Anusa. I do, yeah. I mean, I sort of obviously met him before he really got massive. I've always got on with him, yeah. Mexico, Canada, and the United States are hosting the World Cup, but the United States stadiums are off the chain, says Alpha. Mexico, Shane says, rest in peace, Oliver Tree, and all the victims of the helicopter accident. So tragic and sad. Yeah, I think this is impacting a lot of people tonight. I've got to be honest, it's not somebody that I was aware of myself, but regardless of that, it's a tragedy, and other people have died in it as well, and it obviously is impacting a lot of people who do know who that person is and appreciated them. So be quite shocking news for a lot of people. That's why we're seeing that name in the chat as well. So rest in peace and thoughts with everybody involved in that. I think it's a shock to a lot of people. Do you rate Frankie de Jong? Are you excited to watch him, says Hamza? I wouldn't say I've been running around my garden excited about Frankie de Jong playing. I've been excited about this game. This stadium's got AC as well, says Mrs. Stone. Let's go Japan. I can't stand Van Dijk, says Mrs. Stone as well. I do read the TikTok chat, Asker, but there's super chats on YouTube that I was just catching up on then. What's your prediction for the game, says Liam. Thanks for all the follows on TikTok, by the way. I think that it might be a draw. To be fair, Netherlands have started off better. I actually thought Japan might do a bit of a Morocco and dominate the Netherlands, but to be fair, Netherlands are the people dictating this game so far. I agree with Stan the man as well. Japan need to get after this Dutch side because they're not particularly quick at the back. Vishu says, how's your sleep schedule? Do you drink coffee at 9? I have a coffee at the start of the second to last game, yeah. I'd never have a coffee at the start of the first game. I'd be up all night. Do, cause you're keeping me up all night. What did you have for dinner today, Mason? I had a roast beef dinner with Yorkshire puddings, which was a little bit, it was lovely, but it was hot today. So I do like a roast dinner, but when it's hot outside. A lot of people are wearing pink boots. It must be commercial. It must be like a brand thing. Please wear these boots because they're new. I know Nike have got a new pair of pink boots out. Would you rather win the World Cup as a manager for a small nation like Scotland or experience England winning the World Cup? Well, I want England to win the World Cup, Marge. Vipple says, any conspiracy theories you actually believe in? I can't think of any. Look, if people want to send some in and I'll give you my thoughts. I can't really think of any. Drinks break. Stretch break for me. Oh, God. My back's hurting a bit today. Kenneth says the Dutch players look like they're on a thermal imaging camera. Ha! They do. They're very orange, aren't they? It's very bright. You're right. You're very right. Thank you very much. It's the pink boots, Marcus. The bloody pink boots. What year did that happen in? It's the pink boots. I mean, that'll be coming up for its 10-year anniversary soon. Cucurella to Madrid. Yeah, that was a shock signing today, wasn't it? I mean, I don't think it was a shock in the sense that I think Real Madrid were going to sign a left back and Cucurella's wanted to go back to Spain for quite a while. But the fact that it just came out of the blue, I mean, it's a good signing for Real Madrid, that. It'd be interesting to see how Chelsea react to it. Yeah. Oh, shite, where's that gone? There we go. Would you take De Jong if he was offered to United, says Rex? No, I think that ship is gone. Maida is very fast when he can run 1v1, says Mackenzie. Well, look, looking at this Japan side, because I was a little bit late starting, Kubo, very technically quick player. Maida as well. Doan is sort of playing as a right wing back as a number 10. He is a winger, really, for Frankfurt. Technically, very intense, quick players, Japan. But in this first 20 minutes, I do think that the Netherlands have been the slightly better side. I'd tell you what's boring the shit out. What are you thinking about the World Cup so far? I'd tell you what's getting on my nerves a little bit. Every time and I'm not going to say which TV station because they're both doing it, and bloody Lineker, it's almost like I feel like some of their topics are forced. Like, one of the presenters today was moaning about the hydration break and how it impacted Curaçao. And I was like, all right, you don't like the hydration break, but it's here. You should be used to it by now. You know, it's game day 4. We can't be moaning about the hydration break on game day 4. You either like it or you don't. But, you know, it is what it is. I'm used to it. I like the Japan kit, by the way. I'm just looking at the crowd here. I liked the Japan kit in the last World Cup. I've got it upstairs somewhere. What's your view on Cucurella to Real Madrid, says Sohan? I think it's a very good move. And he's a very good left back. You can moan about it when it's screwing teams over, says Cage. I don't think it is screwing teams over, though. And ultimately, we don't get a say in this. We're just football fans. If the countries didn't like it, I don't think it would happen. And no one's really moaning about it. Do you see Netherlands winning the World Cup? That's from Purple Burglar Alarm. Look, I don't think there's a standout team in this World Cup before it started. Now, as it goes along, we might find that there is a team that is just way better than everybody else. So in the context of I don't think there's a standout team in the World Cup, whoever can find some consistency and play well has a chance of winning it. Netherlands certainly have a good squad. I don't think they'll win it, but as I say, if they can find some form. What's your favourite takeaway in your usual order, says True Gent? Depends what mood I'm in. Here's Japan on the attack. And Netherlands will clear that away. If I was, basically, I'll answer that question by saying if I was ordering a takeaway now, considering I've just had a plate of chips, I would probably go for a curry. And I'd have something like a tikka masala or a butter chicken, mushroom bhaji, pila rice, a garlic naan, and I like the red sauce that you get with the poppadoms. I love that sauce. But I feel like I'd want something else with that as well. You're making me hungry now. I'm not allowed to eat on stream either. Vinny! 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 Vinny's in the chat. Hey, Vinny. He says, hi, Mark. Loving your World Cup watch-alongs. They're great. What's the one match in history? Sorry, he was across by Japan there. What's the one match in history you wish you could have done a watch-along to? 99 Champions League final, Italia 90 semi, Euro 96 semi, or another one. Japan are in here. Oh, no, he's took too long. It's a bad shot over the bar. You know what, Vinny? I would not want to do a watch-along for the 99 Champions League final or Italia 90. I think you lot would have to pick that. I mean, it would have been very entertaining, but I would rather have been where I was, watching it with people, because, you know, sometimes I love doing the watch-alongs, but the bigger the game, the more I sometimes think, like when England got to the final of the Euros at Wembley, I very nearly went to that and was selfish. I nearly did go. And all week I had the tickets and I was like, you know, we've done a watch along all the way through. And I was like, sort of like, you know, so many watch alongs, so many thousands of people watching, community. I bang that drum all the time. And I'm not going to do one to go to watch a final for myself. And I ended up not going. I did the watch along in the end, and England lost, and it was a bloody nightmare because that was the game where loads of people got in without tickets. But yeah, I think the 99 final as a watch along would have been pretty emotional. Good cross into the box, Japan defending well. Both teams sort of cancelling each other out at the moment here, which, to be honest with you, was probably quite predictable, because if Japan are a dark horse and the Netherlands are capable of, you know, giving anybody a game, you probably weren't going to see the team being 2 or 3-0 up in the first half an hour. Hanada and RJ and Ellis, thanks for the follows on TikTok. Who's your dark horse of the tournament? I mean, everybody's saying Norway, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Norway can do, especially when, you know, you've got one of the world's best strikers. But I always think international football is about the team. And I'm interested to watch Ivory Coast later, because whilst they've got some good players, have they got a good team? And a good team isn't always about looking at the team on paper and going, he's good, he's good, he's good. As we know, Leicester won the league. Well, if you look at Leicester's 11 that won the league, yeah, there's 2 or 3 top players in it, but it's a team that week in, week out got the best out of each other. So I think when you're looking at dark horses, a lot of people look at Norway and go, Odegaard, Haaland, etc. But have they got a good team? Have they got a good 11? And that's why, for me, I think teams like Japan, Morocco, are teams to keep an eye on, because they clearly play well as a team. And I agree with Hawk as well. Austria are a very good team. But it's all going to come down to who you get. I don't know who Japan or Netherlands get if they finish second in the group, because that's the problem. If you finish top, there's a high chance that you'll get a good draw. If you finish second or third, you can end up playing France, and that's the problem. Do you think Mourinho will win the Champions League next year, says Dinnan? I think that's a big ask. I think it's a very big ask. I think that job at Real Madrid is very, very difficult. I think they're a long way behind PSG, and their first job is to win the La Liga as well. It's going to be a hard job for Mourinho, and that's why I think he's got to go out and get the players that he wants. I mean, straight away, Canate, Dumfries and Cucurella massively improves that defence. He's now got to do that with his midfield. Yeah, Shivan's right. Japan doesn't really have superstars, but they work well together as a team. Soul Almighty says Morocco is not an underdog, Mark. Well, you don't have the definitive answer on who an underdog is, and Morocco have never won a World Cup, so I would say that they're an underdog, yes. USA would be a dark horse as well, user 742998, yes. How's the neck, Mark? A lot better than it was yesterday. It's still a bit sore. Do watch-alongs live from stadium, media seats is right. I would love to do that. I'm absolutely stunned we've never been invited to do it, but I would love to go and do it. I said to Gary, let us come and do the watch-alongs from the ITV set. That would be amazing. ITV said no. Hi, Mark. Do you ever wish you didn't do watch-alongs and could go to games at Old Trafford or watch them on the telly with family and friends, says Bailey. Sometimes. It's a bit of a deep question. That I do sometimes, but you know, the only show I ever really liked, other than this, was the Kickoff with like Brian and Loz. I liked that concept, but it just doesn't work with what I do. Like, people go, oh, you know, I could easily assemble like a marvel of like 3 or 4 of the best content creators and watch games of football, but you would be the viewer. And you wouldn't be part of the, you know, watch football with me is what we do, not watchers watch football. You know, we interact as a community. You're my guests. And I do miss that. Corner here to Netherlands. I feel like the game does need a goal. We do not want our first 0-0. I am desperate for us to not start getting 0-0s. Hazard says, I loved the Bundesliga watch-alongs because it shows you in the game. Oh, yeah, they were brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant. I'm hoping we'll get them next season. And if we do get them next season, I'm definitely going to go over to Germany and do a watch-along from a stadium like we did at Charlton. Goal! Oh! Oh, I thought it was a goal for Netherlands. They've had 2 chances, Netherlands. Unfortunately for them, both chances straight at Suzuki. Malin with the shot, and then header there straight at Suzuki. I don't know whether it came off a defender, actually. No, it's Malin again with his head that time straight at Suzuki. So I think, again, good save by Suzuki, but if either of these Malin chances had been away from the keeper, I think he'd have struggled to save them. What a save, says George. Who does Suzuki play for? I should know the answer to that. I think he used to play in Belgium. He did. He used to play in Belgium and then he moved. I feel like he's in Italy. He doesn't play for Copenhagen. Parma. Yeah, he's in Italy. He plays for Parma. Thanks for the super chat, Bailey and Dinan. What did you think of Germany, Mark? Says Rudolph the Red. It's really difficult, isn't it, to sort of assess Germany when you beat Curaçao 7-1. I mean, I genuinely think the Netherlands would be smashing Curaçao. I think everyone would smash them. So from Germany's point of view, I think we'll start to understand more about them when they play Ivory Coast and Ecuador. But oh, it drops to, was it Gravenberch? Gakpo. Drops to Gakpo, and he skies it over the bar. Liverpool fans will be used to seeing that. Gakpo missing big chances. Coffee's kicking in. But, yeah, I mean, I've said this a few times. We haven't seen everybody play yet. But coming into the World Cup, Germany are not being spoken about by anybody. It's Spain, Brazil, Argentina, even England a bit, France. Germany, no one's talking about Germany. And when you look at that German side today, I know it's only Curaçao, but they do understand each other. They do play good football. It's Nagelsmann ball. So, and I think you can judge a team by its bench. And you look at the bench for Germany, Undav, Tau, Voltemeda, Stiller, Rudiger, Rahm, Udrago, Llewellyn, Gross, Goretzka, Bayer. They have got a good bench, and they're quite a young team as well. So I love the kit. I love the kit as well. I think Germany. I look forward to watching Germany play against. I don't know what Germany's next game is actually. Let's have a quick look. Are you enjoying the World Cup? Honestly, you'll only get honesty from me. I was very excited about the World Cup. I loved USA '94. I've really loved this World Cup in the sense that I think the stadiums are great. There's a real feel to it. Some of the games have been a bit crap. You know, I'm not going to pretend that some of the games have been good. Some of the games have been a bit crap. But I am really enjoying it. And I think some people just want to moan. But no, I am enjoying it. And I can't wait for England to play. I'm looking forward to Portugal and Spain. And there's some good games. I mean, I think Scotland, Morocco on Friday night will be a good one. I really enjoyed Morocco. I thought that first half an hour was very good. USA were very good. But Germany play Ivory Coast on Saturday night at 9 o'clock. So I think that, well, we'll see what Ivory Coast are like first. But I wouldn't sleep on Germany. They are a team that could easily hit the semis. And I do think, look, I've said it's coming home. England are going to win it. And I will get laughed at, but I said Arsenal would win the league. And they did. But the reason I think it's coming home is because I don't think, at this moment in time, there is a team in this World Cup that I'm scared of. Even France or Spain, I wouldn't say I'm scared of them. And I really genuinely think, and that's what was exciting about the USA and Morocco, is that if you can come into this tournament and build rhythm, you're going to be hard to beat. Now, the problem England have is we come into loads of tournaments, we play shit, and we don't play with rhythm. And although we've been to a couple of finals and semi-finals, I don't think we ever played that well. So I think that whoever can play good football will be fine. Zatara, thanks for the follow on TikTok. Do you think the football's been a bit pragmatic? It's funny, one of my mates was messaging me today and he said, I prefer winter World Cups. I'm going to run a poll on that. I can only do it on YouTube, so let me run it. Do you prefer, I should have called it either or, winter World Cup or summer World Cup? Now, he said, I prefer a winter World Cup because it's cooler and that suits players to play at higher intensity. And he said, you know, this is a really hot World Cup and, you know, some of the teams can't keep up the intensity, which is a fair point. I just think I hate it when there's no football between May and the middle of August. And we get football between June and July and then it's a new season. Yeah, I agree with Savage. A Winter World Cup is woke nonsense. Nick P says, I've got a tenner on Havertz to win the Golden Boot at the start of the tournament. I know people don't rate him, but he takes their penalties and got 2 today. I think it's a very intelligent call, Nick, because you've got to look at the games, haven't you? Harry Kane might get rested against Panama because we might already been qualified. So Harry Kane's going to be not necessarily filling his boots against Panama. I think Havertz might win the Golden Boot. It's almost like the closer effect, isn't it? Germany are very efficient, and efficiency is consistency, isn't it? Breakaway by Japan. Netherlands have worked well to get back. Japan should be very good in this environment, though. They used to be an intense team. That cross was crap. It's gone out for a goal kick. England players can't play together as a team, says Vishu. That's why I wouldn't start Bellingham. I think we're better with Rodgers as a team. Didn't watch the highlights of the Australian game. What are your thoughts? I think they've got a great chance of getting through, haven't they? Australia. That 3 points against Turkey puts them in a brilliant situation because they are in the United States group. So I think a lot of people thought Australia would go home. If they can grind a point out, I mean, Paraguay were poor. You'd fancy Australia. I mean, Australia could top that group. United States against Australia probably decides who tops that group. I don't think United States will lose to Turkey. So yeah, Australia got a great chance of getting through. Jack says Germany are my new favourite teams to win it. Yeah, I mean, Germany looked very good. But of course, by Wednesday, we might be saying France, Portugal, Italy. You know, there's still some good teams to come. I mean, we've got Spain tomorrow, Argentina again. And that's the problem. It's such a big World Cup. There's so many teams, so many countries. But yeah, we've still got France to come. That's a big game on Tuesday at 8 o'clock, France, Senegal. We've still got Argentina to come. Obviously England, Portugal, Spain. And that's a good chance for Japan. He got the shots off. He's loving it. He's absolutely going mad. They didn't even score and he's going, wow, what a shot. It was a good chance. Well, it was half a chance. He hit it well. And Verbruggen was diving down low. It only takes a minute, girl. Sorry, I haven't got my lineups on, so I don't actually know who took the shot. I think it was Nakamura, yeah. The left wing back. I am doing Ecuador against Ivory Coast, Cruz, yes. I was saying this on United Stand earlier. What I've basically done is I've cracked the code. I'm basically in the UK living a New York time clock. So for the next month, I'm basically not going to go to bed before 2 o'clock in the morning on purpose. Even when there's a night off, I'm going to stay up till 2 o'clock. So I'm basically going to make my body run a New York clock. Now, this doesn't work for everybody because if you've got to go to work and stuff, you're not going to get up until midday, and you can't just say to your boss, I'm working on a New York time clock. But did I say Italy at some point? Sorry if I said Italy. That was a low blow. It was accidental. I don't know in what reference I said it. Japan with another shot there. Side netting. I mean, look, this hot. People are saying this is a boring game. It's nearly half time. How are these games in the World Cup going so quick as well? Either we're having brilliant conversation or the games are just... Every game so far has just gone so fast. So fast. What's your tipple, Mark? I haven't had one today. But if I was going to have a drink tonight of an alcoholic beverage, I would probably... You know what? I might have had a G&T tonight, you know? Summer World Cup gets 77% over the 23%. 3 minutes added on. Here is a conspiracy theory for you. This is one and only. I bet Italy don't make it out the group stage and the drinks break is the US turning the game into 4 quarters NFL. Well, Italy aren't in the World Cup. What do you think of Belgium, says Jesse? Again, another team we haven't seen. We'll see them tomorrow night. I think Belgium are a little bit like the Netherlands, aren't they? They've been a team to watch for so many years that don't turn up, that we're almost like... I'd say Belgium and the Netherlands are a little bit like the boy who cried wolf, you know, in the sense that, you know, people shout every World Cup about them being decent and then they're not. So, but that might play into their hands. Like I say, it's playing into Germany's hands. No one's talking about them, and Germany are more than capable of winning a World Cup. They've got that pedigree. True Gent says, what does Mrs. G say about your bedtime? Oh, she don't mind. She gets to watch bloody Love Island, doesn't she? Netherlands did get to a World Cup final against Spain in... Was that 2008? No. 10. South Africa, wasn't it? That was the Howard Webb final, wasn't it? Where basically the Netherlands assaulted Spain and didn't get people sent off. Is Tuchel secretly a German asset, says Rain. I tell you what, it'd be very interesting if we got to a World Cup semi-final and played Germany. I mean, that's when you'd really panic about Tuchel's loyalty. Have you got your England shirt ready for the Wednesday night, Mark? Score prediction for that game. I haven't got an England shirt, Jay. I haven't got any shirt this year. Is United States derangement syndrome a real thing? Says Alpha. Don't know what that is. Corner to the Netherlands. Thank you for all you do. Great company, says JBS. Well, thank you to all of you as well. Are you streaming the Austria game? I'll talk about what games I'm doing over the next few days at half time, which is only a minute. I mean, I can't believe how quick this half's gone. Best thing I know, being abroad, sitting at an outdoor cafe in the evening, 30 degrees outside, having a cold drink and watching the Euros with people, says Stardust. Sounds lovely. Stephen says, I prefer a flan. This could be the last action of the half here. Reinder's on the corner. Oh, straight into the keeper's arms. I bet Phil Jones and Maguire would fit right in with all these pink boots, says Killen. Robert says, I think it's a France-Germany last 16 if they win their groups, says Robert. That's wild, isn't it? That France and Germany can win their groups and play each other in the last 16. I mean, that's the problematic thing about the World Cup. And I wouldn't be surprised, Robert, if in Game 3 people start to look at scenarios and go, it might be better if we lose this. It might be better if we win this. Mrs. Stone just dozed off. England players done that one as well. What's your thoughts on the hydration breaks? 3 minutes is a joke, says Arthur. I don't know whether it's because I'll always say what I think, but I'll always acknowledge other people's opinions, and then I'll say I disagree with it and persuade them to agree with me and that I'm right. But Henry on TikTok says it ruins tempo. I don't know whether it's because when we're doing watch-alongs, we're doing a lot of talking, so a 3-minute hydration break just goes so quickly. And the only game I've watched so far where I haven't done a watch-along was the Germany game. And to be fair, it was so one-sided. I was popping upstairs to go to the toilet or, you know, making a cup of tea and stuff anyway. So, I don't know. I'll probably get clipped on this, but if you have Amazon Prime, hydration breaks are a breeze. Because you can be sat watching Clarkson's Farm and it'll go to a break for 3 minutes. And you're like, what am I fucking paying for? And that you get used to 3-minute breaks. You just get used to them because every time I get a 3-minute break on Amazon Prime, I was watching a movie this afternoon with Seb and it cut off after half an hour for a 3-minute break. And I just spend the time going, why am I paying for Amazon Prime to have 3-minute breaks? And then you get used to it. So these hydration breaks, I'm sort of like, well, Amazon do it with fucking videos and stuff. So it just doesn't really bother me massively. It's the world we live in now, isn't it? You know, you pay for Amazon Prime, you're watching a film, and then you get a 3-minute break. So I'm just used to it, really. I do think that there probably is an argument to say you're basically creating a mini half time, and you basically are making it 4 quarters. I'd be angry if it came to the Premier League. That's where I will draw the line. I don't mind it in a World Cup because it's a novelty. But if it comes to the Premier League, I'd be absolutely fucking fuming with it because we don't play in a hot climate. And as long as it's only for hot climate games, then I don't care. And also, you know, people say, well, we're playing in a stadium with air conditioning. I don't mind if they say every World Cup game we're going to have hydration breaks because it's predominantly a hot part of the world. Fine. But don't ever bring it to the Champions League. Don't ever bring it to the Premier League because I'm telling you what, if we're having 3-minute hydration breaks in December when Mulder are playing bloody Man United and it's snowing, that'd be a fucking joke then. So I think I'm okay with it in the sense that, yes, a lot of these games are hot. but you can't bring it into the Premier League or the Champions League because it's pissing down with rain and cold. You know, we don't need hydration breaks. Thanks for all the follows. Boss, Gone67, Sean. Not a lot to discuss on that first half. I'll be honest, it was a bit crap. Both teams sort of cancelling each other out. We've got 12,000 people watching on YouTube, by the way. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And thanks for all the follows on TikTok. Over 200 new followers. Welcome. Thank you very much for getting involved. We are live again for Ivory Coast against Ecuador at midnight. Ivory Coast, some really exciting players. What I'm doing on these World Cup watch-alongs, and Beth did it as well on the Germany game, is we're going to give you 2 or 3 players to watch. Players that you probably don't know much about. So tonight I've said Sano, number 24 for Japan, and Duan for Japan. Very good players in the Bundesliga. And we did it last night with the Moroccan lad. Tonight, later on, certainly for Ivory Coast, if he starts, Yan Diomande, RB Leipzig. Liverpool are looking at him. PSG are looking at him. Obviously, Ahmad hopefully will be playing for Man United. And if he comes on, Toure of Hoffenheim, a lot of people are looking at him as well. So, but we'll talk about that later. Noah says, try a Japanese accent. You know what, mate? Don't get me started on that. If you use an accent like Japan to be derogatory, I understand it being a problem. But how come I could sit here and do a Scottish accent and no one would batter an eyelid? But if I, do a certain other accent, you get cancelled. Although Seb did show me a clip of Angry Ginge the other day drinking a can of something. I think it was an Indian drink, and then he drank it. And then after he drank it, he did do the voice. And, he's still fine. So, maybe the world is changing a little bit. I think we're mature enough in 2026 to know when people are being offensive and when people are, not causing any problem. I'm not doing an Indian voice or anything like that. Right, let me talk to you about our schedule. This is going to be a regular thing at halftime. Absolutely. So we've got. I've got to say, the big thing I love about the World Cup at the moment is obviously the amazing community we have and the conversations. The games are flowing really quick. I don't think we're hearing enough about what a great job the referees are doing. Every game I've watched so far, whether it's a boring game or a good game, the flow of the game is so good. The stadiums are fantastic, and also ITV's backdrop is amazing. You might not like Roy Keane or Gary Neville or Pochettino or not Pochettino, Postecoglou or Lee Dixon or whoever else they have sat there, but that has got to be the best ever World Cup background I've ever seen. It is just the dog's bollocks. It is absolutely fantastic. Right, let me tell you what games we've got for you coming up over the next few days so you can whack it into your diary. The weekend is over, but it will be back again very quickly because that's what happens in a World Cup. The weeks fly by. So we obviously are halfway through Netherlands-Japan here. It's 0-0 at half-time. This game will finish at about 11 p.m. We'll have a little break, 45 minutes, and then we'll be back just before midnight, Ivory Coast, Ecuador. Then Sweden play Tunisia at 3 a.m. We're not doing that. Tomorrow at 5 o'clock, we're live again. We're in the studio tomorrow for this one. It will be Beth again. Spain against Cape Verde at 5 p.m. Then we've got Belgium against Egypt at 8 p.m., which I'm doing, which will be a good game, actually. Egypt are a good side. Belgium, a bit like Netherlands. Let's see what they can do. And then it's Saudi Arabia against Uruguay at 11 p.m. Early hours of Tuesday morning, Iran, New Zealand at 2 a.m. We're not doing that. Then into Tuesday, we've got 8 o'clock, France, Senegal, and then Iraq, Norway at 11, and then 2 a.m. Argentina against Algeria. Austria play Jordan at 5 a.m. I think that's the game nobody's going to watch. Unfortunately for Austria, 5 a.m. against Jordan. If you watch that game, you are the hardest core football fan of this World Cup. So that's the next few days. And obviously on Wednesday, we've got Portugal against Congo at 6. And then it's the big one, England, Croatia, 9 o'clock on Wednesday. I think we're the last to play, aren't we? No, we're not. No, we're not. Ghana, Panama at midnight, and Uzbekistan against Colombia at 3 a.m. And then we're through the first round of games because on Thursday night it's Switzerland, Bosnia, and Canada, Qatar. So yeah, it's going to fly by. It's going to fly by. Certainly. Do us a favour, if you're on YouTube, please, loads of people are giving us a follow on TikTok. Griffo, Huggy Bear, thank you very much for your follows. If you're on YouTube, you can subscribe to the channel. Free to do. Bottom right-hand corner, click and subscribe. We are on 1.48 million subscribers. To be more accurate, we're on 1.482. So please do subscribe. We're trying to get to 1.5 million subscribers before the end of the World Cup. Gary said if we get 1.5 million subscribers, he's going to fly me out to New York first class and let me do a watch along from ITV studio. He hasn't said that, but I'm sort of like, I'm going to suggest it. He needs to learn that's the sort of thing that, you know, I deserve, basically. I deserve it. But anyway, back to reality. Let's go back there. What's your opinion on Bosnia? I'm trying to think. Bosnia, God, lack of sleep and tiredness. So Bosnia, they drew with Canada, didn't they? I think Canada could have won that game, if I'm being completely honest. So I guess we'll just have to see what we see from them in the future. JJ Streams 23, thanks for the follow. And Torm as well. What time's United stand on tomorrow, says Mason. We're back in the 10 o'clock show tomorrow. So I'm looking at a bedtime of about 2 o'clock, aren't I? So, yeah, should be absolutely fine for that. Yeah. I'll be fine anyway. Even if I go to bed at 4 o'clock, I can get up for that. What's this advert I'm looking at? Oh, M&S. Apparently, Marks and Spencer's have got a red wine, fizzy red wine for the summer. Someone was telling me about that. How's the weather in the UK, says Barbara. I haven't done weather watch in Dallas. Weather in Dallas is 31 degrees with potential thunderstorms. Ah, there's a question for you. If there is thunderstorms in Dallas tonight, if the roof's open, I presume the game goes on. Or not. What's the sort of process on that? Because that is something that can impact the game. Game should carry on, so it'll be fine. The roof is closed. Yeah, I think that's why they've closed the roof then, because apparently there might be some, might be a bit of thunderstorms. What do you think about America as a country? Well, there's a load of Brazilians walking over a bridge there. I know a few people are in New York at the moment, and New York can be busy, but they said it's like Christmas. Not in the sense of like, it's great. They said it's like, if you've ever been to New York in December, the week before Christmas, it's absolute chaos. They said it's like, it's chaos. It's really busy. Weather in the UK this week, we got 23 degrees tomorrow, 23 degrees Tuesday, 22 degrees Wednesday, 23 degrees Thursday, 24 degrees Friday, and 23 degrees on Saturday. That's my kind of degrees, you know. I don't mind that. No rain, 23 degrees, nice, not too hot. I'm okay with that. What's your thoughts on the game, Mark? I'm not surprised by it. Some people are saying it's a bit boring. Look, not every game's going to be fantastic, and I'd say USA still is probably the best game we've had. There's loads of Brazilians walking across the Brooklyn Bridge at the moment, for whatever reason, if anyone knows. But look, I think Japan know that the Netherlands are going to play with lots of possession, and I think what they're doing is they're looking to counter. But I also think the Netherlands know that Japan are going to play with lots of possession, and they're trying to deal with that as well. So they're sort of cancelling each other out at the moment. What are your thoughts on Ecuador, says Ak? Well, being as we've got a little bit of time, let's have a quick look at the Ecuador squad for this World Cup. We know a little bit about Ivory Coast, but we were looking at some of their players ahead of this World Cup. Obviously, you've got Angulo of Sunderland. You probably know a little bit about him. Hasn't played that many games for Sunderland, actually. He's only played 8 and quite a young player. I'm trying to see who their main guy is. Enor Valencia has been playing for them for years. He's at Pachuca in Mexico, but he's 36 now. I don't know whether he will start. Kevin Rodriguez probably will start. He plays for Union Saint-Gilles. But I think I'm right in saying with Ecuador, there are some of their parts, in a way, probably not as good as Japan. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But they haven't lost a game for 20 games, which, when you're playing South American football, is pretty impressive. So I'm looking forward to watching them. But, I mean, obviously, Caicedo is an incredible player for them. And you've got Pacho at centre-back, obviously, from PSG. So I'm interested to see how they do. Esteban obviously plays for Milan. But a lot of people have said to me Ecuador will beat Ivory Coast, which I suppose some people might think that's a bit of a shock. But they're another team that's got quite a few players who play outside of what we would know. Like Plata, who's 25, has got 50 caps. He plays in Brazil. Franco, who is 27, has got 58 caps. He plays in Brazil. Minda plays in Brazil. Paez plays in Argentina. So they're a little bit like, there's a few players that we're aware of, but they're a little bit like Mexico, Colombia. A lot of their players actually play in South America, so we don't know a lot about them. Hincapié. I mean, their defence is probably the area where we know the most. Hincapié, Esteban, Pacho. But they have done very, very well. We're up and running for the second half. I've got the timer going there. Big Boss Theo says, how far do you think the USA will go? I think it's really hard at the moment to predict where anybody's going to go when Robert McCormack's saying if France and Germany top their group, they play each other in the last 16. I mean, that just sounds incredible to me. It's almost an incentive not to top your group. I mean, how do you top your group and then play France, Germany in it's not even in a quarter-final. So I think it comes down to where the who you get in the next stage. Is Gold Devils returning, Mark? Says Gold Devils fan. I would love to see Gold Devils return, but I've got to be honest with you. I've not heard anything from Baller League since, and I don't know what the plans are. If I'm speaking openly, it felt like after what happened in season 3, there was a few people thinking about not coming back again. So I don't know. I've got an open mind on it, really. Plus, next season, there's going to be a lot of change to this channel and a bit of change to the United stand, which is going to change how I work. So, and that will be my priority. So I don't even know if I could do anything about that. Silent Streams says, European complaints are funny to me because half the stadiums are in cool climates, Canada, and closed roofs. Only a portion of the games will climate come into play. Cheers, Mark from Atlanta, says Silent Streams. Nick P says, I'm just looking at the building ITV are in. It's called the Panorama Studios in Brooklyn. Multiple floors. They did well to secure that in advance. I mean, mate, that's what you do, though, isn't it? I mean, I don't want to teach established mainstream outlets how to suck eggs, but the World Cup in 4 years' time is in Portugal, Morocco, and Spain. So I would be looking at real estates at the most attractive areas in Portugal, Spain, and Morocco, and looking to secure it now. And also, I've been talking about the last few days. I've been talking about this in the last few days. This is not a one-off World Cup with 48 teams in it. The next World Cup's got 48 teams in it. It's already been confirmed. So I think some people were thinking this is a one-off because it's some sort of centenary bollocks. The World Cup is 48 games now. In fact, Infantino has said that he's thinking about knocking it up to 64. Which I think it would be ridiculous, really. I really do. Rodri says, what do you think on 48 countries? I love the World Cup. I love the Euros. The best Euros I ever watched, England weren't in it. 2008, 16 teams, 4 groups of 4, straight into the quarterfinals. Elite. Every game was a good game. You know, we've got an extra knockout round. You've got teams like, with all due respect, Curacao and Haiti in it. And it's got to be a goal! It is! Van Dijk! What a header by Van Dijk. In off the post. And the Netherlands lead. This game actually needed a goal. And we've got a goal. And it's Van Dijk who's got it. Really good header. I mean, this keeper's good. He is not going to save that. He sent it back the way from the cross, in off the post. Absolutely fantastic header. And the Netherlands lead 1-0 here. There is maybe a touch of offside. We're just waiting to see. Out it goes. No, he's miles onside. Yeah, that's a goal. There's not going to be any problems with that at all. Kubo put his hand up for offside, but there's nothing about that that's offside at all. What a header as well. Spin. It's spinning. I mean, keepers... unlucky on the goalkeeper because he's played really well, but that was absolutely perfect. An absolutely fantastic header. Werner says who scored. Van Dijk. So we've got the goal, which is much needed, to be honest. How's the match going? Any good, says Lord Harkey. To be honest, no, it's not been a great game, but that goal should change it a bit now. Van Dijk and Reinders are Indonesian Dutch, says JBS. And thank you very much, Nick P, as well. He was talking about the ITV building. But yeah, 48 teams. I'm not a big fan of it. I'll tell you what having 48 teams in the World Cup is like. It's like adding 10 championship clubs to the Premier League and saying it's a 30-team league. It won't make it stronger. It just makes more games. If you add the top 10 in the championship into the Premier League and have 30 teams in the Premier League, that's basically what they've done with the 48-team World Cup. You're diluting the quality to play more games. It doesn't make it better. If there was 48 Brazils, fine. But we're diluting the quality to make more money. That's my problem with the 48 teams. It'd be like having 48 teams in the Champions League. Well, unfortunately, there ain't another 15 teams that need to be in it to make it better. This was a game that was always going to be about height, says GSO. Yeah, I mean, look, that's an advantage for Japan. I think that, stereotypically, they don't have tall players in abundance. And, their intricacy and intensity is their positive. But on this occasion, Van Dijk, fantastic. UFC White House Watchalong Mark, says Oliver. Don't know what that is. I remember Virgil van Maguire from their Spurs game, says Chris. Thanks for the follows, SW39 and Kenny. Thanks for your super chats as well. Appreciate those. Please do subscribe to the channel. I forgot to check how we were doing on that. We're 2 subscribers away from 482,498. So we're for 500. So just click and subscribe. I messed that up. We'll edit it out later. Yeah, live at midnight for Ivory Coast against Ecuador. Yeah, I mean, FIFA, UEFA, all they want to do, I mean, the Club World Cup was an example of this as well. It's always about more games, more money. I mean, at the end of the day, if there's 3 weeks in June where there's no football, they're not making money. If there's 3 weeks in June where they can sell tickets and TV rights, they're making money. I mean, that's simply what FIFA and UEFA are doing. They're trying to fill the calendar up more with more games. Can we get more games? Can we get more stadium revenue? Can we get more brands? That's what it is. Lord Harkey's just gifted 5 memberships on YouTube. You're a legend, sir. Braden is a 9-year subscription anniversary on United Stand on Wednesday. To celebrate, get us tickets to the quarterfinal in KC, Missouri, and I'll provide the board and travel from STL, says Braden. I would love to do that, mate, but I don't think I'm going to be getting over to the World Cup. Somerville did well there, and it's going to be another corner here to the Netherlands. Definitely the better team here. I've got to say, I've been a bit disappointed with Japan. Doesn't mean Japan won't have a good World Cup, but they haven't had a good game here. I feel like the Netherlands are definitely in the ascendancy here. It's been a good performance from the Netherlands so far. Defensively, they look very solid, and obviously they've created a few good chances. Assel, Greg, Tedrick, and Broderick, thank you very much for your follows, and Debar. Lots of love for Somerville. Suriname was a colony country with Dutch colony from Africans. Van Dijk looks... Okay, what are we doing here, JBS? I mean, it's 2026, and we're now trying to do what people did with France in 1998. I mean, it's 2026, mate. The world is small. I don't think we can really be having conversations about who should play for the Netherlands and who shouldn't. Like, literally, that's the positive about the world we live in now. And there isn't loads to be positive about. Goal, Japan! Brilliant goal! And it is Nakamura who scored it. Nakamura, sorry. It's a lovely goal. Cuts across the box, smashes it low, into the bottom corner. That was a cracking goal. 1-1, and it's come alive. And the world comes alive. And the world comes alive. Nakamura, 1-1. Japan, they must have heard me saying they've not been that impressive. He starts on the touchline here. Plays it in. Gets it back on the edge of the box. Edge of the box. Bang. There might be an offside there. He does jump over the ball. There might be an offside there. It's offside. It touches him and goes in. That's not a goal. That's going to be offside. I think it hits... yeah, that's going to be disallowed. This could be given. He's onside. Well, good. Well, this game has really kicked off now. I probably got the line wrong there, if I'm being honest. I thought he was stood in an offside position. I mean, that's not even Nakamura's goal then, is it? Because it deflects in off somebody else. Came off the defender. Sorry, it came off the defender, not the Japan player. Van Heck. Long throw in by Dumfries. I mean, to be fair, the Dutch may as well play to their strengths here. I'll tell you what, this is going to be very interesting in the next half an hour because the thing about Japan... Look, how many seconds has he taken with this throw-in, ref? Ref! I thought it was a 5-second throw-in rule. Mate, get on with it. That was a long throw-in, that was, from Dumfries. How reliable has VAR been so far compared to the EPL? It's done well, Ryle, to be fair. It's 10 seconds, Mark. I thought it was 5 seconds. Apparently Rio's retweeted Buadi in a United shirt. Oh, don't get that prat involved in anything. It does anything for clicks. He's an absolute jinx. That's that finished. He'll be signing for Arsenal tomorrow. I'm hearing Buadi to Man United tomorrow. He's holding up a Liverpool shirt. Who do you think will be the World Cup breakout big signing besides the Moroccan lad, says Silent Streams? I think that would be my name at the moment. Maybe Diamonde, who will be watching a little bit later. Sam says it is 5 seconds on throw-ins. I don't know where people are getting 10 from. I thought that. Anyway, corner to Netherlands. This game has come alive here in the second half. This is the game we wanted to see. And they're on the break. Japan, go for it! He does well. That's a foul. It's a cynical foul. You're going to have to book him. He will book him. Somerville booked. It was cynical. Japan were on the break. Yeah. You got to book him for that. Today this could be greatest day of... I don't know why I'm singing Take That. Oh, because I went, and the world comes alive. Thanks for the follows, Brendan, Ahmed, Davils, Tommy, Harrison on TikTok. Blizz has a hope Japan win. Well, I tell you what I'm happy about as well. We avoid another 0-0. I want to keep the streak going. Burger says Japan dark horses. I'm going to make a prediction here. I feel that Japan in the last half an hour will have the fitness and the Netherlands might tire. They are so fit. That's a good cross by Japan. And he's won a free kick. I need over 7.5 corners in the game. How many corners so far? Let me whack the stats up for you. There we go. So we've had 5 corners. I mean, Netherlands have had nearly 70% possession. England watch-along will be good. Yeah, 9 o'clock on Wednesday. That's the thing I always like about the World Cup. You have all the games where you're enjoying it, and then when your nation plays, sorry Italians, it's really exciting. Insanity says, that's offside. Did you see the replay? I haven't seen a replay, which always makes me worry. Goal! What a goal! What a goal! Somerville, that's absolutely brilliant. Out of nothing. This game really has come alive here. 3 goals in the first 20 minutes of the second half. Somerville makes it 2-1, cuts inside, edge of the box, curls it into the bottom corner. Suzuki can't get anywhere near it. He can't get anywhere near either of these finishers. They've been absolutely on point from the Netherlands, and you can't argue about it. It's a fantastic goal. We might have a bit of a goal fest in the second half. I mean, there's not a lot they do wrong. Keeper's a little bit unsighted. Somerville goes for the shot. Lovely curl. No, in off the post again. You just can't save these. This is the angle we want. You can't save it. Look, curls it. That is an absolutely marvellous finish. As a keeper and a defender, you literally can't do anything about it. It's curling, and it's curling towards the post, then it goes in. You can't save it. It's impossible to save it. What a finish. What a game. Well, everybody at half-time who was saying boring, are you not entertained now? This is fantastic. 2-1 Netherlands. And this also is the group of death. Tunisia and Sweden in this group. If you lose this game, you put yourself under a little bit of pressure. And they're in again here, the Netherlands. Oh, good block there from Gakpo. I think he might have been offside. Yeah, we haven't seen a replay. I haven't seen a replay of the Japan goal. So, as I said, it looked offside to me, but I only saw it once. It could be a good World Cup after all, says Marcus. Loving the channel. Shout out to Phil McCracken. Sorry, thank you. Liverpool need to go and get Somerville, says Adam. Yeah, I think you know, somebody was saying before about players in the World Cup who can break out. Somerville had a good season for West Ham, but if he can have a good World Cup for the Netherlands, it just boosts his profile. I mean, West Ham are going to make coin, aren't they? Ooh, shot from distance there from Kubo. Game has definitely come alive here. Loving the second half, says Stu. Hitton and Daniel, thanks very much for the follow. Slot was right, says Sorum. World Cup always build, says Alpha. They never arrive, but will always deliver if you love the game. We've got a drinks break here. And thanks everybody who's tuning in, by the way. Got over 13,000 watching. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Just going to have a bit of a stretch here. The controversial hydration break. That'll do. That'll do. Harry says drink break at the wrong time. Well, Japan have got to go for it now. You don't want to be losing games. The Netherlands probably better to just sit back and counter. Premier League games are slow. This is going by so quick. I'm glad somebody has noticed that, Hamza. Because I've definitely noticed. I think all the games go really quickly. Are you wearing shorts? Is unknown. I am, yes. Somebody said the hydration break would be great if they all drank vodka. Well, it wouldn't be great if some of them are not allowed to drink alcohol for religious reasons, but I get your point. Gradually pissed players would make more mistakes. They'd probably get more confident as well. Imagine a winger with a couple of vodkas in them. They probably think they're Maradona and start taking people on. Nick P says Old Lang Syne playing after that goal was random. Who's the better team, Wazim? I think the Netherlands are the better team. Yeah. If I'm being honest, I think they have been the better team. I think Japan have showed a bit of respect in the sense that they've sat back and looked to counter. And I've got to be honest. Well, I haven't got to be honest. It's everybody's honesty. I don't think there's many people out there in a domestic football season who spend time scouting international teams. But with the Netherlands, we sort of came into it trying to figure out how good players would be. Netherlands always come into these tournaments with high hopes that they rarely deliver on. But they've actually been quite good here. They're going to make a couple of subs. Memphis Depay is going to come on. Coop Miners is going to come on. Mallon, Somerville and Reinders off. So 20 minutes for Japan. They'll definitely have a go. On the attack in Netherlands. Gene Phillip, if you don't like it, let me just do something that's really easy to do on TikTok. You click on your name, you block you, and no one ever sees you again. Bye-bye. I hope that was riveting enough for you. At least you got a shout out. Don't know who that is in a Ralph Lauren cap, but I do like the cap. In fact, I've got one of them myself. Where's me, I haven't got the dark blue one, I've got the light blue one. Right. Where's my live chat? There it is. Still Netherlands on the attack. Gakpo, great save on the front post by Suzuki. He's probably been Japan's man of the match here. No United scouts at games not into Jim's budget, says Mr. Tight Lips. Ross McRae Magician says best players' names at the World Cup so far have to be Sithole for South Africa in the opener and Experience playing for Haiti this morning. Favourite, says Ross McRae Magician. I think they were both ones that stood out to me as well. Heat or Usual Suspects, says Plebe. Oh, definitely Heat. My annual summer watch is going to come. Kubo's down injured at the moment. Harry, yeah, I'm not reading that one, Arben, because I know he doesn't play for Austria. Anyone criticising the hydration breaks doesn't understand how unbelievably disgusting it is in North America right now, says Doug. Did you watch the Knicks games last night, says Caleb. I actually did watch the last 5 minutes. It was very good. I haven't really watched basketball for years because I always felt they go to each end and score, but actually Spurs were missing loads of chances, and it is better. Basketball's good to watch when people do miss. Mark, be honest, are you in the Illuminati? Well, I don't know what it is, so I'm not in it, Nim. Van der Ven played the Japan player on side, says Mirror. Jack Lad says, have you ever been Fringe Fest in Edinburgh? I've never been to Edinburgh. Jacob says, I've never seen you stream on TikTok before. I've done it a few times. We were on here last night at 2 a.m. Van der Ven's reckless, isn't he? I don't rate Van der Ven. Do you rate Van der Ven? I don't rate it. I don't rate him. Yeah, we've got fan integration here as well. We've seen it at every ground. You get a mixture of fans. Now, we wouldn't necessarily get that in the Euros, I don't think. But Mickey can't defend. Mickey can't defend. Mickey Van der Ven. Mickey can't defend. I like that one. Greetings from Texas. Love you on the World Cup, says Grand Prairie. Thank you, pal. We are live an hour after this game as well for Ivory Coast against Ecuador at midnight. So lots of watch-alongs on the channel. Make sure you're subscribing and following. Thank you. Corner to Japan. And it's overhit, but he's there on the back post. That was absolute stupidity. Why didn't he take a touch there? I mean, mate, to score from there, you're going to have to score an absolute 1 in 100 shot. Do you think Suzuki is better than Onana? Yes, Ramon, I do. I think Netherlands might get a third here. They've definitely been impressive, the Netherlands, I'm not going to lie. Are you going to do Sweden-Tunisia, says Liam? No. No, I'm not doing... I basically am not going to do anything later than at 2 a.m. unless it's something exceptional. I don't know whether there's any knockout games at 3 a.m. But, yeah, as a rule, I'm not going to do anything later than 2. Japan definitely missing Mitoma and Minamino. I think Japan will be fine. I think they've just come up against a good Netherlands side here. I mean, Netherlands have surprised me. I wouldn't say I'd written them off. I just wasn't really giving them any thought. Oliver says Japan are conserving their energy for the final 10 minutes. Sam says, I can see Argentina getting beat by Algeria. Well, look, does anybody actually think Algeria or Tunisia are any good? They won't be bad, because to qualify from the African group, you've got to be quite good. I think Algeria are all right. There's a round of 32 game at 4 a.m, says Miz. Lovely stuff. How many games have you watched so far? I will watch them all, says Hamza. Hold on a minute. Japan on the attack. I've probably missed... I'll have a look in a minute. Overhit cross again. Van der Ven puts it out for a throw in. So we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've had 10 games so far in the World Cup, and I have watched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've missed 2 then. South Korea. I missed South Korea against Czech Republic and Australia, Turkey. And they were both good games, really. Oh, well, the highlights look good. If you think these games are hot now, wait a few weeks. July is brutal. It's currently 34 degrees at my house in the US, says the Hand of Thrawn. That is a very relevant point as well. A lot of people have said it's going to actually get hotter in July, which is probably not a hot take, if I'm being honest. I watched Germany-Curacao. I didn't do a watch-along for it, but I watched it. The watch-along was done by Beth and Kev, but I watched the game. We didn't do a watch-along for Belgium, not Belgium, Switzerland, Qatar, but I watched it. It was on the telly because I was doing United Stand at 8. Japan in down the right-hand side. The cross is good. Straight at the keeper. It was a shame. It was sort of a little bit behind him. It was good play by Japan. We're heading into those last 10 minutes now. Mohamed Amora is one to watch in the Algerian team, says Mr. Tom. When is that game? Is that the early hours of Wednesday morning, I think? Steel and CDTP D97, thanks for the follows. And Diego as well on TikTok, thank you very much. Yeah, it was a little bit behind him there. The next games in this group are going to be very key. If Netherlands win, Japan are under pressure in their next game. They play Tunisia at 5 a.m. on Saturday morning. I won't be doing that one. The Netherlands play against Sweden at 6 o'clock on Saturday. We will do that one. That'll be a good game. I don't know whether the Netherlands and Sweden are rivals. Netherlands don't like Germany, do they? Or is it just Rijkaard and Voller? Spitgate. Christoph says, are you looking forward to the Norway games? I'm looking forward to seeing whether Norway genuinely are the dark horse or whether everybody's just being really lazy and saying they are. What new rule would you take into the Premier League, says Crash? I'm absolutely loving how fast the games are flowing. I've not watched the game yet and gone, oh God, I can't believe how long this game is going on. And considering some of these games we're watching at like midnight, 2 in the morning, you'd expect sometimes when you're getting tired, the game to be quite slow. But the flow of the games has been really good. Glass-Eyed Glue says the FIFA pricing is ridiculous. I'm from the Germany Ivory Coast game in Toronto. Category 3 ticket cost me 2,100, ripping off fans. I mean, it's ridiculous. Nobody should pay more than £100 to watch a football match. The fact that people are paying thousands is just madness. That person in the crowd was Liv Morgan. She's a wrestler, says Alex. Thank you very much. Top 3 favourite fruits, says BC. I don't know. I don't know whether... I do like fruit. I don't know whether I'd be that mad about having a top 3. Ooh, he's absolutely clattered him there. And it's a yellow card. Referee wasn't messing around. Memphis. To be fair, referee's spot on there. He's absolutely clattered into him. Yeah. Good ref. Very good refereeing. Mark, I think people are sleeping on Senegal with all the Morocco talk. Senegal will win the group, says Noah. Well, France-Senegal is on... Is it on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock? Jake, Hamid, Ellis, thanks for your follows. A few people saying, do you think Sweden is strong? I mean, I don't know, because Sweden only just bloody made it, didn't they? They had to come through a playoff, so I don't know with Sweden. I think people... sorry, Nick P says, regards hydration, grab a drink on the sideline like a marathon runner and get on with it. No need for a 3-minute pep talk with Shakira belting out. And Constantine says, ref should have given Memphis a red there. I think he did it on purpose, and it was definitely a foul. I think a yellow card suffices for me. Brobby coming on for Gakpo for the last 10 minutes or so. What are you going to do now, Mark? Oh, I like it. I get a like 45 minute break. Have a spot of something to eat. Bit of a stretch. I wouldn't want to go from game to game. You know, it's nice to have a little bit of a break. We'll be back live at about 10 to midnight. Shut up! I'm not talking to you lot. Don't you stop typing. It'll get very boring. TH says you missed my super chat earlier. Ref should... thank you very much for that. Let me see if I can find it for you, TH. I think the Netherlands get this done now. Romano, Amorim to AC Milan. Hope he does well. Is that done? Ooh, good cross in by Japan. They've still got the ball on the far side. Never going to get on the end of that against Van Dijk. It's tough for Japan because they can't really put crosses into the box because the Dutch are very good. Right. The dog's not ruining this show. Free kick to Japan. I mean, this is the sort of situation I'm talking about where they're going to struggle to score whipping crosses into the box when Van Dijk's in there. And again, it gets cleared. The dog is warning you, Mark. She's not. It's because I went like this. I'm not doing it now. I made a noise and she didn't like it. TH, I've been back through every single super chat. I can't find it here. Corner to Japan. Tim says, we Americans are used to mark these hydration breaks. We can't go 45 minutes without selling commercials. The rest of the world should get on board. Loving the World Cup so far. I think we need a coffee break for the winter, says Marge. I hate the ad break except Australia versus Turkey, says Legendary. Koeman is basically the Dutch version of Southgate, not football-wise, but coaching-wise. His tactics suck, and he's a selfish prick. Coming from a Dutch fan, says Zenti. Japan into the box, another corner. Do you prefer round 32 instead of round of 16? I'd prefer a 32-team World Cup, to be honest. Mo says hydration breaks are actually commercial breaks. Rodolph the Red says, one thing I've always wondered, do players get a new set of boots every game? Probably. Goal, Japan! Get in! This World Cup's brilliant. 2-2 from a corner. Get in! Lovely stuff. Oh, 4-goal thriller. I'm actually happy this might end in a draw because it just maintains the aura of both these teams. You know, if Japan get beat, you sort of think maybe they can't be a dark horse. If the Netherlands get beat, you think they're going to flop. If they both play a really good draw, they both take momentum into future games. Cracking goal by Japan, and it's a header. I think it's a substitute who scored. Let me just double check. I didn't see. It's a great... Oh, keeper's got to probably save that, if I'm being honest. It goes off... Well, no, he's not going to save it because he heads it and it goes off the head of another Japanese player. Big goal. It was number 19. I'm trying to have a quick look. He must have come off the bench. Agawa headed it and then it hit somebody else's head. I'm trying to see who they've given the goal to. Kamada has been given it. But it was the substitute who headed it, and then it went off the top of somebody else's head. There we go. Cracking game. First half wasn't great, but there we go. Anglo-Saxon, sorry, I'm just catching up on some old super chats here that I'd missed. You missed my super chat, my friend. I thanked you for the company. Well, thank you for your company. Very much so. It's been great. And I've really enjoyed it. 4 goals in the second half. It just goes to show you that football is a game of 2 halves. First half wasn't great. Second half, brilliant. I feel like this is the game for the World Cup as well. We've only got 5 minutes added on. I think this is one of those games where you sort of probably applaud both teams off and say, gives you a little bit of excitement to say well done to both teams. Best second half so far. I think the USA best first half. This definitely the best second half. And fair play to the person who said Japan will go for it in the last 10 because they've absolutely dominated. Van der Ven with a stupid foul again. Mickey can't defend. What's your sleep... Sorry. S. Connor says, what's your sleep schedule like? How are you dealing with the early morning matches? Mate, you know what? I was getting a bit fed up with it on Saturday. Because I did the first game on Thursday night, then Friday. And yesterday, I had to go down the pub and have a chat with the wife about it. Because I was like, I can't... This is going to go on for a month. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then I sort of just realised what I need to try and do, because this is basically a job, is adjust my sleep pattern to something that, you know, fits in with the World Cup. So I've just basically decided I'm not going to go to bed before 2 o'clock for the next month. And I'm not going to try and get up until about 9 o'clock. So I'm always going to be getting minimum 6 hours sleep. Kobe says, Ahmad's not even starting. What is this nonsense? What is this woke nonsense? Ivory Coast. Lineup. Toure starting. I mean, he is a player to... So, look, in relation to the Ivory Coast team, Yan Diamonde on the right, Toure on the left, I would keep... They'd be my 2 players to watch for... in that game. Enol Valencia is playing up front for Ecuador. He's 36. Caicedo in the midfield. No starting. Esteban's not starting either. Hincapié and Pacho do. Ahmad benched. What a game. Declan and FSO, thank you very much for the follow. If you are on TikTok, give us a follow. We are going to be doing a lot of the watch-alongs here live. If you're on YouTube, what a community. Thank you so much. Nearly 15,000 tuning in. Make sure you subscribe and get involved with this World Cup. You're very welcome, whoever you support. I've got a feeling this is going to be a cracking World Cup. I really have. The stadiums are great. The referees are getting the games flowing fantastically well. And this second half has been very, very good. And it's not even as if we've had 4 goals and that everyone's, you know, there has been chances that have not been scored. Like Gakpo's had a couple of chances, what a surprise, and missed. Japan had a couple of chances as well. So, yeah. Are you going to have some beers on Wednesday, Sam? Well, you know me too well. For the England games, I do tend to have a couple of beers. It's part of it, yeah. Will Scott says, how's your back? It must be hurting considering you carry our fan base single-handedly. Hope you're doing well, Will. I need to get in with a chiropractor, basically. Stringer says, have you seen The Sopranos, Mark? It's on my list to go back and watch. I watched about 6 episodes and then stopped, which, you know, as somebody who likes TV and film, I take it on board. That's just a massive L. Mirror says, speaking of sleep schedules, it's 3:20 a.m. in India and the Ivory Coast starts at 4:30. You're a hero if you're staying up for that then. Hamza says, what's your favourite coffee? For me, it's a cappuccino or a cold brew. I always have a latte. Sid says, these Japanese players are technically so good. And PTSD incoming in pre-season for the players versus AC Milan, says Denise. I think Amrin will play that. Crash Gaming, sorry, let me have a look. Amrim's in the final stages, so United will save a bit of money, says Rafa. Oh, God. You're not one of those accountant Man United fans, are you, again? Oh, we're going to save a few million. Any empty seats in this tournament are from price gorging, not from the lack of interest. I would love to go to a match. Can't get a ticket for under $500, says Mango Man. It's disgusting, isn't it? Absolutely disgusting. 50 seconds to go here. I think it's going to end in a draw, although the Netherlands are on the attack. And that's an overhit cross. Van der Ven will keep it in. I'm hoping Liverpool are going to spend £50 million on Van der Ven because I just don't rate him. Japan have got the ball here. Mickey says, so much for bad pitches in stadiums. It's been brilliant, hasn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Polar says, I'm absolutely buckled off tequila. Cheers, mate. Ireland. Jacob says it's 6 a.m. in Singapore. And that's a draw. I tell you what a brilliant second half of football that was. Absolutely brilliant. Really, really enjoyed it. And thank you everybody who's tuned in. The Netherlands look a bit disappointed, but my conclusion with that and summary is that that was a deserved point for Japan, and I think a draw was the right result. You'd be disappointed that you were winning going into the 89th minute, but across the game, especially the second half, I think we got a really good game of football. So, yeah, 2-2. Fair play to Japan. Koeman doesn't look too disappointed. And I think they can both take positives out of that game for the rest of the... Well, certainly the rest of the group stage. I mean, Sweden and Tunisia, I do think this is the group of death. As I say, Netherlands play Sweden on Saturday night. So we'll be back for that one. Did you ever enjoy Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit films, says Ryle? I enjoyed Lord of the Rings, yeah. Brahma, thank you very much for the follow. Leo, thanks for the follow on TikTok. What a match, says Kev N. Rafa says it's what Romano said. Sorry, pal. You're not one of those accountants, which is great news. Great game, says Floppy. Okay, I am back with you in about 45 minutes. I'm going to go and get myself a drink, probably take the dog for a little walk. It's not a metaphor. I'm actually going to take the dog for a walk. And then we'll be back here for another really interesting game. 2 players to watch in that game for Ivory Coast. Both wingers. Touré of Hoffenheim. A lot of people looking at him. Lian Diamonde of Leipzig. A lot of people looking at him. So the wingers for Ivory Coast, very exciting. Well, they're benching Ahmad as well, which is disappointing. But looking forward to that. If you're staying up late for the midnight game, I'll see you there. And speak to you all in a bit. Thanks for watching.